Prime Minister said on February 15th, if anyone, including the former Attorney General, had issues with anything they might have experienced in this government, it was her responsibility to come forward. It was their responsibility to come forward, and no one did. Now we have audio recordings where she, in fact, did come forward and said 7 times in 17 minutes that his interference was inappropriate. Does the Prime Minister really expect us to believe he didn't know about that conversation?
Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, it's important to note that the Prime Minister has taken responsibility for the breakdown of communication and trust within his office. He has put measures in place because we always believe that we can strengthen our institutions and the way we work on behalf of Canadians. It's also been stated that the Prime Minister was not briefed by the clerk on his conversation with the former Attorney General, Minister of Justice, and the Prime Minister also stated that he should have spoken directly with the former minister about this matter. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Carleton.
The only problem with that story is that the Clerk of the Privy Council said to the former Attorney General at the time that he would be reporting back to her the substance, to the Prime Minister, the substance of the conversation they were having. And in that conversation, she warned the clerk no less than 7 times that the actions of the Prime Minister and the clerk were totally inappropriate. Now the Prime Minister expects us to believe he didn't know a thing about that. How is that possible?
Honourable Government House Leader.
Speaker, to ensure that Canadians would be able to hear for themselves, the Prime Minister actually waived solicitor-client privilege as well as cabinet confidence. The Prime Minister also made sure that it was encouraged that members of the Justice Committee ask witnesses to appear so that Canadians could judge and hear for themselves. I know that the members opposite cannot fathom that members of a committee could do the work on their own because they're so used to being instructed by their leader, but that's not the approach that we take on this side. We think it's important that we respect our institutions, including committees, also when it comes to the work of the Conflict of Interest and Ethics Commissioner. Well done.
Order. The Honourable Member for Carleton.
The Prime Minister sent out the clerk to claim that he never told the Prime Minister about this spectacular telephone conversation that we've now heard through audio recordings. And the clerk claims that's because the Prime Minister went on vacation the very next day. Well, we now know that wasn't true. He didn't leave for vacation for 2 more days, and the clerk has testified that the Prime Minister, notwithstanding vacations, is always available 24/7. Now, is the Prime Minister really going to expect us to believe that he would not have known about this explosive conversation?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
The member chooses to pick and choose the points and say what he wants to say and listen to what he wants to hear. Mr. Speaker, we know that Canadians are paying attention and Canadians should be able to hear the truth for themselves. And that's exactly why the Prime Minister waived solicitor-client privilege as well as cabinet confidence so that the former Attorney General could appear at committee. Members of the Justice Committee asked for additional documents to be presented, and those documents have now been presented. Within that same audio recording, the clerk also confirmed that the Prime Minister said that these were tools and decisions for the former Attorney General to take. The former Attorney General took a decision, and it remains a decision.
Honourable Member, order for Toronto.